And hello, towel friends. If you missed day 23 of the John O'Keefe and Karen Reed retrial, well, you missed Bob Alessi absolutely bomb on cross, and it was quite a moment. I am so glad, ladies and gentlemen, that I got to see it. You got to see Bob Alessi impeach his own credibility on cross, but of course the day started with a momentous win for Hank Brennan, who was, after an overnight review by Judge Canon, Brennan's witness, Dr. Judson Welcher, a crash reconstruction expert who had started testifying Tuesday, was allowed to finish up his direct on Wednesday morning by telling jurors his opinion that Karen Reed's Lexus was involved in a collision around 12:32 a.m. and 4 seconds to 12:32 a.m. and 9 seconds on 1/29/2022. And furthermore, ladies and gentlemen, perhaps more importantly, that John O'Keefe's injuries were the very classic result of a sideswipe type collision with a vehicle of that nature. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, it didn't just start there, though, because immediately after that, Hank Brennan got to do the direct. We're going to get to listen to that testimony. We are going to get to hear the ruling from Judge Canon. We're going to get to do it all right now during the recap. My name's Grant Smith Ellis. I'm glad you are here with me today. If you weren't, now's your chance to get caught up. We're going to be able to do this relatively quickly because there wasn't much substance to Bob Alessi's 5-hour cross. It was just the witness humiliating Bob Alessi over and over and over again. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, the witness even got out of his chair at one point during cross just to re-emphasize his testimony about Karen hitting John with her car, and he reenacted it. It was quite a moment, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, folks, here we go. We're going to start with the ruling that began the day from Judge Canon. Let me just bring that up for you little towels right now. All right, little towel friends, appreciate your patience. Sorry about that. I by accidentally put the towel comments down, so I'm going to scroll them back just for the point that we may have missed any of them. And now we are going to watch.
All right. Good morning, everybody. All right, so Dr. Welcher can testify that the data he downloaded and analyzed and the damage to the Lexus is consistent with Ms. Reed's vehicle being in a collision on January 29th at 12:32 a.m. because he's a qualified expert and his opinion is based on reliable methodology appropriately applied. In addition, Dr. Welcher can testify that Mr. O'Keefe's injuries are consistent with his having been struck by a Lexus that is physically identical to Ms. Reed's Lexus, because this opinion is based upon, among other things, his experimental work that came into evidence without objection as to scientific methodology and application. However, he may not testify that Ms. Reed's Lexus collided with Mr. O'Keefe because that conclusion is not based on the application of reliable scientific methodology. The problem here is not that the opinion concerns the ultimate issue, because in Massachusetts that's not a bar to admissibility. Rather, it is that Dr. Welcher, the expert, is drawing an inference based upon more than scientific method. His opinions set the stage for argument and a permissible inference to be drawn by jurors through the application of their sound judgment to the opinions that they find credible. But the jurors are as well positioned to draw or reject the inference as is the expert. That is, the inference is not compelled by the application of any scientific method. So that's the ruling.
That was the ruling. So you're wondering, okay, how did that actually play out? Well, remember, dear towel friends, this is a recap, so we actually get to see how it played out, because Hank Brennan's expert immediately then got up on direct and did his voir dire, and we are going to watch it right now, because I'm a little towel and I keep these kind of things archived and ready for us to watch. Now, Twitter's video player is being a little weird today, so I can't make it better quality. Hopefully it buffers throughout the video, but more listen to what is being asked, folks. Listen to how Hank Brennan crescendos this for the jury.
Ask you those questions again, but before we do, I'm going to ask you two other questions. The first is, I'd ask you to turn to your PowerPoint, slide 110.
Display it, please.
going to ask you a question about a series of your slides regarding this effort. This is 110. Could you also follow through to 111, 12, 13, 14, 15?
You want me to play the videos?
You don't need to play the videos. I just want to acquaint you for the question.
111,
12,
112, 113, 114, 115.
How many times did you engage in testing where your arm and forearm touched the rear right of the exemplar Lexus?
3 times.
In any of those 3 times, did it ever leave any paint on the underside of your arm or forearm?
No.
If you could turn to slide 130, please. What? There we go. Could you go back one, please? Perhaps it's 131, Dr. Welcher. There we go. Could you explain the significance of this slide, please?
Your Honor, this is...
Oh, could you take that down, Dr. Welcher?
Sure.
Mrs. Brennan.
We're going to move forward. Yesterday, when we left off, I had asked you...
So we need to take this slide down.
Sorry.
You can take the PowerPoint down, please.
That was in a different spot on the slide. Hold on a second.
That's better.
Thank you. Sir, I had asked you yesterday about some of your opinions. I
Correct.
want to ask you about some of your opinions relative to that last effort that you made regarding testing between the Lexus and your arm.
Correct.
You had mentioned earlier on in your testimony that you reviewed a number of pieces of information and offered that you relied on some of those pieces for your opinion. Can you share with us, for this part of your analysis, what pieces of evidence or information did you rely on for the opinions I'm going to ask you?
Relative to the testing on the arm contact on the taillight?
Yes.
So it was the physical evidence at the scene, the photographs of Miss Reed's vehicle, to a certain extent, my analysis of the Ring doorbell and the One Meadows.
You yesterday.
I am counting on my fingers. So I am counting on my fingers. I am counting on my fingers. The Ring video doorbell, Mr. O'Keefe's height,
on, I'm back, Little Towels. All I was telling you is we are right back into the testimony. If you missed those last few seconds, all I was letting you know is I've pulled up the exact moment in testimony. We're switching over from the X feed to the Twitter feed, YouTube feed, because the YouTube feed got a lot more stable recording of Dr. Welcher's testimony, and we are now picking up at the very second we left off, which was 10:16 a.m.
Effort that you made regarding testing between the Lexus and your arm.
Correct.
You had mentioned earlier on in your testimony that you reviewed a number of pieces of information and offered that you relied on some of those pieces for your opinion. Can you share with us, for this part of your analysis, what pieces of evidence or information did you rely on for the opinions I'm going to ask you?
Relative to the testing on the arm contact on the taillight?
Yes.
So it was the physical evidence at the scene, the photographs of Miss Reed's vehicle, to a certain extent, my analysis of the Ring doorbell and the One Meadows event, the nature and
Excuse me, Your Honor, pardon my interruption. I just want to know if you read from something or not read.
Looks like he's counting on his fingers. Are you reading from something?
No, I am counting on my fingers.
Okay, thank you.
So I am counting on my fingers. The Ring video doorbell, Mr. O'Keefe's height, the type of shoes he's wearing, because I needed the same type of shoes, my exemplar inspection where I matched up the heights, and then the text stream data as well.
That information that you considered, in addition to the text stream data you considered, considering both those areas of information, do you have an opinion to a reasonable degree of engineering certainty in whether the damage to the defendant's Lexus is consistent with a collision with Mr. John O'Keefe on January 29th, 2022 at around 12:32 a.m.?
So there's been two potential theories that I've seen on that issue. One is a glass was thrown at the rear of the vehicle and shattered it. The second one was an impact to the arm. If the impact is basically more than approximately 8 miles.
Based on the physical damage and your testing, whether that is consistent with a collision or a impact with Mr. John O'Keefe.
It is consistent with the collision as long as it's greater than approximately 8 miles an hour.
Do you have an opinion whether it's consistent with an impact or collision with Mr. John O'Keefe on January 29, 2022 at around 12:32 a.m.?
With that caveat, yes.
In your testing, did you consider, or do you have an opinion to a reasonable degree of engineering certainty, whether John O'Keefe's injuries on his arm, inevitably in the back of his head, are consistent with being struck by a Lexus identical to the defendant's Lexus on January 29, 2022?
Yes,
What's your opinion?
that it is. It is consistent with being struck by a Lexus and ultimately contacting a hard surface such as frozen ground.
And does that specifically pertain to January 29, 2022 around 12:30 a.m.?
Objection, Your Honor.
I'm going to allow that.
Yes, it does.
To finish, I'd like to ask you a few more questions. You've written some papers on sideswipe collisions or clipping. Can you describe for the jury and explain collisions or clipping? Can you describe for the jury and explain what a sideswipe collision is or a clipping and how that may or may not differ from
Being contacts compared to, say, an inline impact or, say, a T-bone impact is what refers to that the object that you're hitting isn't accelerated up to the speed of the object that's coming in. So, for example, if I rear end a car, that car will be accelerated up as a result of the contact, and they reach what's called common velocity, and then they separate. And so in a glancing hit, you can have a glancing hit and you don't have what's called complete momentum transfer, meaning the momentum from the car, because it's a glancing hit, doesn't completely transfer to the object being struck. For example, you can drive down the road at 100 miles an hour and clip the mirror of a parked car and you'll break the mirror off, but you're not going to go from 100 to 0 instantaneously. You're just going to keep going because you don't have all that momentum transfer. So when you have glancing contacts, you can have much higher speeds without a lot of damage to the car because you're only in momentary contact and it's a glancing type hit.
You mentioned about potential damage to a car. How about potential damage to the pedestrian?
It's the same thing. So when you have a glancing hit to a pedestrian, this is referred to as a fender vault. In this case, they call it a fender. Fenders on the front of cars because most pedestrian impacts involve the front of cars. In this case, it would be called a quarter panel vault, which means you're kind of vaulting off the corner of the car. Those are much more complicated because you don't have that common velocity that I referred to. So it's difficult to calculate the exact speeds at which the vehicle contacted without a whole bunch of information in that type of crash. If the impact had occurred in the center of the vehicle and we knew where the point of impact was and the point of rest, we'd have a much better chance of determining how fast the vehicle was going. But when you have just a corner clipping or glancing, it makes it more difficult to determine, even when you have an area of impact, which is where the person was when they got hit, and a point of rest where they landed, makes it more difficult for glancing contacts because you have that sideswipe problem where they don't obtain what's called common velocity.
And what are some of the other difficulties in attaining specificity in a sideswipe or being hit by a quarter panel as opposed to a fender?
So for a pedestrian, correct?
Yes.
So pedestrian impacts and how you move post-impact are very sensitive to your exact body position. For example, whether your right foot is on the ground or off the ground, whether your left foot is on the ground, off the ground, whether you jump up in response to the crash. Simply raising and lowering your arm changes the amount of rotation that's going to happen. Post-impact motion of the person. So cadavers, crash dummies don't have any muscle reaction. So the motion of a crash dummy will do additional activities that alters where they come to rest.
In your studies of direct pedestrian collisions by front or back bumper as opposed to sideswipe or clipping somebody, is there a similarity or difference in type of injuries that you see?
Yes.
And what is the difference?
So in direct centralized impacts, you tend to get much more severe injuries. Really what's occurring is you're getting that momentum transfer. So it's more, you're accelerating the person up to the vehicle. They can wrap onto the side in front of the vehicle at higher severities. Their head will hit the hood, their head will hit the rear of the vehicle. So when you have that direct contact, there's actually more momentum transferred to the actual occupant. There's more applied force to the occupant as well.
When you see direct impacts, is there ever the existence of lower body extremity injuries, broken bones in the legs?
So there can be both, depending, and again, it's very sensitive to where the foot is on the ground, whether the foot's on the ground, as well as the severity of the crash. In the presentation that I gave at the Actual Reconstruction Collision Safety Institute on pedestrian injuries, I went through all the literature on lower extremity injuries and looked at what parameters affected that. And so depending on how it was loaded, some at 15 miles an hour had no injuries. Some at 15 miles an hour had some fractures. It depended on how exactly the foot was loaded.
Is it uncommon in sideswipe pedestrian accidents to see no lower body broken bone?
No, it is not uncommon.
Have you had cases that you've studied or been involved with where you've studied the effect of a sideswipe or a clipping impact where there's an absence of broken bones in the lower body extremities?
Yes.
I'd ask you to turn to slide 139, please.
Oh, sorry. I fixed those other two slides.
Okay. Could you share with the jury what this represents?
Sure. So this was a trial that I was involved with in downtown Los Angeles. I've redacted the name at the top, but this was an instance where we had, this is a image from the police report. Oh, let me see if I can. So AOI in this diagram stands for area of impact. That's where the pedestrian was when they got hit. AOR is area of rest. And you can see we have information on exactly how far the pedestrian was thrown. Then on the right-hand side, we have photographs showing the impact to the pedestrian. This was determined by experts on both sides of this case to be between a 25 to 35 mile an hour impact. And then what you see is a close-up on the bottom slide of where there was DNA transfers, hair and tissue samples on the vehicle from the individual that was hit by the vehicle.
Next slide, please. And what does this represent?
So this is the decedent in the case, the person that was hit. He was killed at the scene. What you see on the left-hand image, on the left-hand image is he had a massive laceration to his right forearm, but it didn't break his arm. There was no broken bones in his arm. On the right-hand side of this image, you see the autopsy report. What you'll notice is he had red marks on his leg, left buttocks, but he had no leg fractures. And again, this individual was hit at between 25 to 35 miles an hour.
Can you expand that? I'm sorry.
Yes, sure.
Do you want that expanded like 100 times?
There you go.
Thank you. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, my pleasure, John. Thank you. So at the top, he had a severe brain injury, which again is the most common injury in pedestrian crashes. He did have fractures of the right 11th and 12th rib and a liver laceration. If you look at the extremities, it says right upper extremity. Again, that's from the shoulder to the end of the hand. Extremity wound with vascular injury, so no fractures. If you look where I was talking about the multiple abrasions, so when they're looking at the lower extremities, they're noting a number of red marks, but there was notably no fractures to the lower extremities.
Thank you. You can take that down, please.
Okay.
Dr. Welcher, regarding your analysis of the data and the evidence in this case, do you have an opinion to a reasonable degree of engineering certainty whether the absence of lower body brakes to Mr. O'Keefe is consistent with the defendant's Lexus impacting in a sideswipe or a clipping Mr. O'Keefe?
Yes, you could definitely have this type of impact and not have anything beyond, say, red marks to the lower extremity.
Thank you, Dr. Welcher.
My
Your
pleasure.
Honor, I would move evidence subject to redactions. Dr. Welcher's PowerPoint presentation.
That's by agreement, Mr. Wilson, with that caveat.
Thank you.
Now, if you're wondering, Grant, that seemed absolutely devastating from Hank Brennan. How is it possible? Yeah, exactly, H. Towel. If you're wondering, how is it possible that it could be that devastating and Bob Alessi would go down that bad in flames? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a look. And H Towel, if you could tell me the time on the screen in time on the screen in Eastern time. It's right below the Law and Crime logo on my stream. You'll see I put a clock there for when that moment happens. It's probably, I can probably figure it out. We'll get to it at the end of the day. But if someone yells out, "Oh my God," when Alessi said he's going to take another 5 hours, ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you, Bob Alessi's cross was that bad. I don't really know how to explain this cross to you. I think the best way for us to do it, I think the only way for us to do it is to just sit here and do this together. It's not like there was a lot of substance. 5:14 p.m. Eastern. H-Towel, you did give it to me in the perfect timestamp. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we're going right to that then. Listen, H-Towel, Sheffield Flannel, is a super towel, ladies and gentlemen. I want to preview for you how bad Bob Alessi's cross was. Then I have a bunch of timestamps for us to look at. It was so bad, apparently. Murder by Maestro. Oh, my goodness. You know, if Murder by Maestro is coming by, then we're celebrating something, which was Bob Alessi just crashing and burning. Oh, my goodness. So we're going to 5:14 p.m. Wait, it can't be 5:14 p.m. Hold on, H-Towel. It can't be 5:14 p.m. because that was the court ended a little bit before that. But listen, apparently one of the court reporters says, "Oh, my God," when Bob Alessi is asked how long he's going to take tomorrow. Let's see if it was this moment.
So we're half a day tomorrow.
Oh, that's right.
So it may be that we have a 20-minute break tomorrow, and we finish up by 1:30 by going straight through. We've got a juror who has an appointment that we told her she'd be able to make.
So there is a moment there where someone apparently says like, "Oh my God," in response to Bob Alessi saying a half day, but I don't know. Oh, 4:14 p.m. Thank you, H-Towel. Yep, we got it right there. Let's listen to it from 4:14 and just see if we can hear it a little better. By the way, the Turtle Boy can't take other people's passes. He just sits there and waits and hopes that the alternates don't get in, and it does not work for him. He didn't get in today.
So we're half a day tomorrow.
Oh, that's right.
So it may be that we have a 20-minute break tomorrow, and we finish up by 1:30 by going straight through. We've got a juror who has an appointment that we told her she'd be able to make. So I'd like to do everything we can so that Dr. Welcher doesn't have to come back or stay here another day. So let's just see what we can do, and we will do the same thing for your experts as well.
No, I understand, Your Honor, and I respect everything that Your Honor is saying. I must say, Your Honor, to state the obvious, this is a key aspect of the case, and we've got to be able to proceed through with the questions. He covered a lot on his direct and properly.
And I'm not asking you to curb it. I'm just hoping that we can do it. So I will ask you tomorrow at a certain time to see whether we're able to do it with the 20-minute break and finish.
Fair enough, Your Honor.
Okay.
That would be my answer at that particular point.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All rise for the court, please.
Thank you, Dr. Welcher.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I step down?
Oh, I listened. I listened really hard, H-Towel. I couldn't hear it, but I trust you. If it's there, it might have been hiding. Oh, folks, we're doing a recap, though. We're about to watch the best moments of Bob Alessi crashing and burning on cross. There wasn't even substance to it. It's not even like reviewing Dr. Welcher's testimony, which took us an hour and 25 minutes yesterday. We are going to just laugh at Bob Alessi right about now. I also made my chair, the back of my chair, at an incredibly uncomfortable angle, and it's one of these fancy chairs that's 6 years old, and I don't know how to fix it. And I just want to note that I'm frustrated. But I'm not frustrated by Second Beach Gal, who is a super towel in every sense of the term. God bless you, dear towel friend. Thank you so kindly for your support, and thank you for supporting all your fellow loving towels. You are a super towel, my dear friend. It missed the word you, but I'm learning to use my voice to text. Murder by Maestro said it makes me a more efficient towel. Thank you so much for all your support of your fellow towel friends, and also for being a super towel in every sense of the term. Didn't I say that earlier? Yes, and also for being a wonderful human. See, ladies and gentlemen, we're anthropomorphic towels, which means we also have human sides. God bless you, dear friend. Oh, no, what do you mean it's no longer available? I tried to send the chat as quickly as I could. Oh, God bless you, though, Second Beach Gal. You are a super towel. Towel appreciates you. Towel thanks you for your support. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me just show you. I do try to set a tone of love. God bless you, Mandy. Excuse me, I saw Mandy Strong. God bless you, too. God bless you, Beach Nance. You are a super towel, and I did look down at my phone, and I want to extend to you a special towel hug. You are appreciated. You are noticed. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I can't tell you how much it means to me. We haven't done any really breaks during this. How long have we been going? Almost 9-hour stream. I just do this as kind of a labor of love. I don't really think of it as really much of anything other than informing people. So the fact that you all have found a home here, that you all have so many friends here, it means so much to Little Towel. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. But yes, I wish I could say that, in fact, I actually am glad there wasn't too much substance to analyze, because Bob Alessi just went down in flames on cross, and we are going to watch it together. Ladies and gentlemen, if you missed it, this basically sums up Bob Alessi's entire cross today. This one moment, it was so humiliating. I've never seen anyone try to impeach a witness about when the witness started working on the case and literally get it wrong. As a lawyer, you cannot make the jury think that you don't have a lot of credibility. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, oh goodness. Jeff Williams, hello. It is so great to see you. Yeah, I do think it is going to go worse for Alessi tomorrow, Pat Brooks. It couldn't possibly, but I think it might somehow happen. But yes, Jeff Williams, and also great to see you, dear friend, and H-Towel, Sheffield Flannel. I think you have a serious point there, friend. I will listen again with closer ears. But can we laugh at Bob Alessi first? You can't, as a lawyer, impeach your own credibility and knowledge about the case in front of the jury. And Bob Alessi managed to do it, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. So you've been on this for 2.5 years. So if it would take 9 months or 12 months, if you weren't getting paid, you would have been notified by that by now, correct? According to your own answer you just gave.
I've not been on this case for 2.5 years.
I'm sorry, sir. Let me go back to the question of payment.
Hold on. You said I've been on this case for 2.5 years. I was retained in September 17th-ish of 2024. So that's, what, less than a year ago.
Understood. I'm moving on to the next question because I want to move away from that discussion and just go right to the bill. You, as you sit here today, exactly.
That was so great. That was so great. Can you believe that? That was just the beginning of Bob Alessi's humiliation. Yeah, exactly. And he was Jeff Williams, he was trying to impeach the witness's credibility, and all Alessi did was end up impeaching his own credibility. Now, ladies and gentlemen, H-Towel has posted some audio. I'm going to play it. I'm not going to post it up on the screen, but I'm going to play it. Sheffield Flannel has posted some audio, ladies and gentlemen, and I am going to, hold on one second. Let's see. All right, H-Towel. Let me just click this. Now, let's see. I'm going to grab it for you. I'm looking for it, H-Towel. I can't find it. Can't find it though. Hold on. H-Towel said they posted it on X, so I'm taking a look for it. Let's see if I can find it. I really want to hear this audio of the court reporter potentially saying, oh my God, but I may not be looking in the right place, H-Towel, so I may... Oh, I found it. Hold on.
How long are you going to be tomorrow?
Oh, that's glorious. H-Towel, do you want me to cite you for this? Am I allowed to cite your Twitter for this? Oh my goodness. Oh, I can't believe H-Towel found this moment. It's as glorious as humanly possible. Ladies and gentlemen, H-Towel, am I allowed to cite you for this? Oh, all right, I'm bringing it up on the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this moment. Look at this moment from H-Towel. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. Look at the court reporter react to Allesie say that he's going to have to spend another 5 hours on cross.
But Mr. Alessi, how much longer are you going to be tomorrow?
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's amazing, ladies and gentlemen. We are all that court reporter. Listen, I want to get this clip so I can repost it. Hold on. That's hilarious. H-Towel. Oh, my goodness. That is the greatest thing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not met Sheffield Flannel, folks, please take a second to say hello to Sheffield Flannel. They just posted that video. That is amazing. We are all Madam Court Reporter. Ladies and gentlemen, oh my goodness. Oh, I love everything about it. Yes, H-Towel, you found it. You knew it, dear friend. You not only did you know it, you nailed it in every sense of the term. And then when Little Towel couldn't find it, you came through. Listen, this is like ladies and gentlemen, this is like Sheffield Flannel knocking one out of the American baseball proverbial park. We'll have to bring Sheffield Flannel over to Fenway. You can ignore the Liverpool connections. Oh, my word. You can see this is like going over the green monster, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I love it, Sheffield Flannel. I love it so much. And you know what the best part is? We might be able to sync this with the moment that it occurred. With the moment that it occurred, ladies and gentlemen. So we can actually get the Karen Cam moment of that as well. Oh, Sheffield Flannel, that was absolutely glorious. So and I know why we might not have been able to catch it because I think the feed went out for a second, but that's even better, Sheffield Flannel. That is even better, ladies and gentlemen. So watch this. We're going to do our famous, we're doing it mid-recap, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes on Towel Stream, we have a little bit of an inclination, ladies and gentlemen, and I just want you to watch this court reporter's reaction again to Bob Alessi saying that he's going to need another 5 hours. Madam Court Reporter absolutely loses it. She's like, oh, no. Oh, and so it was about 4:13:54, so it was right at the turn. All right, perfect, H-Towel. So we can actually grab that very easily from Towel Stream, and we can sync this to the whole image. Hold on one second. So let's grab this, okay? So we're going to grab this. And now, if you've never been here for towel editing, first of all, super shout out to H-Towel, by the way. H-Towel absolutely found this moment. They're getting a repost. I think this is going to lead to like 100,000 views on their Twitter. Oh my goodness. And then what I want to do is I want to get, since we're going to use a still video here, we need like a 12-second clip from Towel Stream during that exact time. So hold on. Let me go into my towel videos here. And let me go into my recordings. We're doing this in real time, Little Towels, so we need that last little segment there, right? So we need right around 4:13 p.m., was it? 4:13:55. So we're going to get that, Little Towels. Oh, God bless you, Pat Brooks. Oh, I have it. I have it. Oh, I have it. 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 Perfect. Perfect. I have it right here. Look at this, little towels. Why? Oh, Pat Brooks, first of all, God bless you. I needed that little towel pair because we are about to do some serious work. Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to put in some serious work right now, and I apologize. Your comments are frozen. I re-uploaded them. So just give me a second to get them to re-scroll because a lot of you were talking. I apologize about that. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, a huge thank you to Pat Brooks, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Not just coming through with support for the channel again, but it is an emoji that towel needed right now because we're doing mid-recap video editing, and I just want to say that that little towel pair is adorable. I needed it. Oh my goodness, you little towel. I'm going to give you a little rub on the towel head. God bless you, little towel pair. And God bless you, super towel Pat Brooks. I'm just giving that little towel pair a little rub on the head. Now I have to get back to work. I love you, little towel pair, and God bless you, Pat Brooks. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you've never done towel video editing before, let me just show you what this is like. It's an actually absolutely incredible experience. What we need to do is we need the 12 seconds. So let me just show you. All right, let me bring it up for you on the screen. This is one of those things that you may as well get to see in real time, and then we're going to retweet the Super Towels post, Sheffield Flannel himself. So do you see here how I have the background video of the moment that this happened roughly on the stream? So then what we're going to do is we're going to send that to back, okay? And you might wonder why we're doing that, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we're going to send it backwards because what we want is this clip to be on the front. Now, we want this clip to basically replace, okay, where this was. And it's okay if it stretches out a little bit. Now, we don't want to get rid of John's face, but we also want to make sure we keep the court reporter. So let's do a little compromise. We may actually have to lose John's face for this, unfortunately, because, oh, that's unfortunate. But also, what we really need to look at is we're looking at the timing of this clip, okay? So this clip starts, we can see, it's a 12-second clip, and we want the audio. This is of the court reporter rolling her eyes. And we get a little clock view at, hold on, give us a clock view, 4:13. When is it? 4:14. Okay, so that means it starts at 3:50. Now, the Karen cam is about 20 seconds ahead, okay, of the regular clock. So that means we're going to remove the audio from this video. So you see how we extract the audio from this, and then we're going to delete it. Now, we only want a 20-second clip of this clip, but we want it to start 20 seconds after 3:50. So we want it to start at 4:10 on the running clock in that bottom image. So let's see what it's at here. That's 14:10, right? Okay, so right there. That's roughly when this is happening, and then we want 12.2 seconds, right? So 12.2, thank you very much. Okay, then we click done. Now watch this, ladies and gentlemen. We actually bring this up here, and we click duration. Look at this. We're going to get the synced Karen cam. This is Karen reacting to that moment. Hold on a second.
Mr. Alessi, how much longer are you going to be tomorrow?
Hold on one second. So there you go. It's just I don't really love that that weird flashing in the background, but I think that was actually on one of the source videos on my end, so I'm sorry about that. So I'm just going to cut this part off. Okay, and then we're going to do that. All right, and then we're going to drag this out a little bit. Okay, there we go. And now let's watch this real-time video editing. Oh, this is glorious.
Mr. Alessi, how much longer are you going to be tomorrow?
Ah! Oh, that was great. Now, Sheffield Flannel, watch this. All you do is you grab those two combined videos, and now we have the full recording of Karen's reaction. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have never been on Towel Stream before, I want to let you know that some of the best moments that we have here, even during the daily recap, are when we're doing things like reacting to Bob Alessi's cross that just went down in flames, and we do real-time video editing of a court reporter literally having the best reaction I've ever seen. There's no question in my mind that that court reporter is a towel. Also, Pat Brooks, thank you for that wonderful emoji contribution. We absolutely needed that during the middle of that difficult work. And also, your comments will continue loading. I apologize. What happens is when there's so much going on the screen, Little Towel Computer is like, okay, we should prioritize here. So first of all, let's just go back and say, hello, Little Towel Pair. That was adorable. And then, hold on one second. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. My apologies, little towels. But yes, oh my goodness. Look at this. You towels were chatting. I froze the towel chat. I'm very sorry about that. I'm having it scroll through. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to see some real-time video editing there. The file should be downloading any second now. And I cannot wait to repost Sheffield Flannel. I can't tell you. We had a fun time getting Kitty's 1993 on Twitter to 26 followers. You have no idea how much pleasure I'm going to take from reposting Sheffield Flannel and hopefully this getting like 100,000 views. If Sheffield Flannel gets 100,000 views, I'm just going to laugh my little towel heart out, ladies and gentlemen. That is the kind of thing that would make little towel extremely happy, especially because Sheffield Flannel was the person who discovered this, which makes it even better. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, it is done. The video has downloaded, so you know what we do, ladies and gentlemen. We go over here. We click like on this video. Oh, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, ladies and gentlemen. Then we grab this. We grab this, okay? And so we're going to want to, hold on, we're going to want to quote that, okay? So then does it actually? I don't think it actually shows that. Hold on. Nope. So we're going to grab what I need. Hold on, wait. You can just see her head rolling back over and over and over and over and over again. I love it. That is hilarious. Oh, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I love it. And so we grab our version, right, with the synced. Now this is synced to Karen's reaction. So this was real time. And now we have to think about how to write this up. So how do we write this up? I think all of us watching the John O'Keefe and Karen Reed retrial can sympathize with Madam Court Reporter's reaction to Bob Alessi announcing he has at least 4 more hours of cross to go on Thursday. How do I even end that tweet? Oh my goodness. It's just such a great thing. Oh, ladies and gentlemen. How do we say it? Oh, don't worry, I'll play it again, Forensic RN. It's great. Look at the court reporter. She leans her head back.
Mr. Alessi, how much longer are you going to be tomorrow? Yes.
The towels feel your pain, Madam Court Reporter. And then I have to say credit to the super Sheffield Flannel himself. Hold on, what is this? So Steve H. for the find. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this was a moment. The towels feel your pain, Madam Court Reporter. The towels feel your pain. Listen, I don't think she was necessarily reacting to Bob Alessi. I think she was just reacting to the fact that it was going to be 5 more hours. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I feel, listen, I feel a little bit bad, but also, like, come on. It was on national TV. We weren't the only people to see it. And she's not reacting to Bob Alessi. Do you realize she has to say every word that the witness and Bob Alessi say, and they talk over each other constantly? Yeah, she's going to get scolded for that, though. Listen, it's too late. The people have already seen the stream. There's nothing I could do. I have to make this post. I'm sorry, Madam Court Reporter. She's going to hate me for the rest of my life. Madam Court Reporter, we love you. It's not your fault. It's Bob Alessi's fault. Oh, my goodness. No. And it's not like that comment was just staying up there, folks. There were a lot of other comments that were flying by. And this is literally during the recap. Oh, my goodness. This was literally during the recap. Yes. Oh, I'm sure John DePetro will see this, folks. I am sure. It was, no, Allesie had no gotcha moments. It was the opposite of gotcha moments. It was so bad that literally the expert at one point, like Murder by Maestro said, Allesie asked the expert to discuss the musculoskeletal system outside bones. And then Welcher was like, your bones are on the inside. But literally it was just a syntactical joke. It was like a pun because Allesie was saying, like, discuss it like outside of the bones. And then Welcher was like, you don't have any bones outside. But Allesie was saying other than bones. So he's talking about like the central nervous system, the joints. It's not as funny like in context, but it's hilarious in the response. Like just out of context, the response is like, your bones are on the outside. Oh my goodness. So that's what I'm saying. Ladies and gentlemen, there were no gotcha moments. I don't know how to summarize this. I really don't know how to summarize this beyond what I've been talking about. This recap has mostly just been me doing that live edit and us laughing about Madam Court Reporter and Bob Alessi just getting owned. But if you missed it, ladies and gentlemen, let me summarize for you what Bob Alessi's cross was like. And then what I'm going to do for you is we're going to play. I have some of the timestamps of some of the funny moments. Then we're going to wrap up, and then tomorrow's a half day. All right, so let's get this done in a little bit. I don't have anything to do after this, but like this has been a ridiculous day, and this was the highlight, folks. If you missed this, if you are just tuning in for the recap, oh my goodness, it was a hilarious day. Hank Brennan made his point on direct. It only took about 15 minutes. The direct was a carryover from yesterday. The jury knew that Karen Reed collided with John O'Keefe, and the data pretty much proved it, as did John's injuries. But ladies and gentlemen, Bob Alessi just going down in flames on cross in a laughable way was even better. Just watch this.
Exactly. So you've been on this for 2.5 years. So if it would take 9 months or 12 months, if you weren't getting paid, you would have been notified by that by now, correct? According to your own answer you just gave.
I've not been on this case for 2.5 years.
I'm sorry, sir. Let me go back to the question of payment.
Hold on. You said I've been on this case for 2.5 years. I was retained in September 17th-ish of 2024. So that's, what, less than a year ago.
Understood. I'm moving on to the next question because I want to move away from that discussion and just go right to the bill.
No, I just want to tell you, this is what it was like all day. Alessi would try to do this. Oh, of course, Mike, I'm happy to do the recaps after a long day. It's a labor of love. Towel appreciates all of you in this public information service. If you're learning something, if you're becoming educated, if you're becoming informed, if you're becoming erudite consumers of information in the public sphere, such as to ward off the usurpation of our representative form of democracy, then by God bless you, and I'll be here to help you, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, that was, if you want to know what was the cross like? Oh, goodness, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to watch it back just for your own vicarious catharsis, if you want to play the role of Miss Havisham, if you want to reprise Great Expectations, if you want to treat Bob Alessi like Pip and be your own Estella, what Dr. Welcher is your Estella, ladies and gentlemen, rewatch that cross. If you like vicarious catharsis, vicarious humiliation, although I'm not really into that, but if that's your thing, more power to you. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, rewatch this cross. We're not going to watch the whole thing because it was for 5 hours, but I have some timestamps we can watch. I did the research, and by doing the research, I mean some of us little towels together, we managed to get through it. Ladies and gentlemen, we managed to get through it, and I'll tell you right now, I have some timestamps. I know, we're not going to watch the whole thing. It was that bad. It was that bad. Alessi would have something horrible happen, and he'd be like, oops, that didn't happen. Let me just move on. Move on. Give up. It's over. You undermined your own credibility, Mr. Alessi. Oh, dear goodness. Oh, the humanity. The good ship Hinden Reed sank before our very eyes, ladies and gentlemen. The good ship Hinden Reed. Oh. How do I do it every day? Oh, yeah. So I looked this up, ladies and gentlemen. The upper range of the human larynx is 3.5 hours. So the fact that I can continuously do streams for 10 to 12 hours, I think it means that I am at some kind of superhuman level of speaking ability. And I therefore should go on the political stump and just travel around the country and preach to people about my towel-based diplomatic philosophy. Then we can get Towel elected and I can put Hank Brennan on the Supreme Court. Now, 97%. So here's my political platform. 1, Navy sailors can drink up to 2 glasses of American-made wine or beer as long as they're away from port and on ship every day. If the French can do it on the Charles de Gaulle, then we can do it in America. Number 2, we're putting Hank Brennan on the Supreme Court. Ladies and gentlemen, this is non-negotiable. My political platform is primarily centered around putting Hank Brennan on the Supreme Court. Number 3, no texting or using your cell phones in movie theaters. I don't go to movie theaters, but I hear that this is a thing that people want, so no texting or cell phones in movie theaters. Now, you might be saying, sir, why is it that you're now talking about going on the political stump based on a Hank Brennan putting Hank Brennan on the Supreme Court as a primary component of your political platform, tangentially also centered around warding off the rise of the BRICS, protecting the petrodollar, ideally, what was I talking about earlier? Oh, giving Navy sailors access to 2 glasses of American-made wine or beer per day because the French can do it on the Charles de Gaulle, and then also tangentially banning texting in movie theaters. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about this because if I can talk for 12 hours and my human voice is able to do this, then I must use this skill for good, and I think we should put Hank Brennan on the Supreme Court. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate it. But also, we need to go to the marks that I have here. So 2 hours and 2 p.m. and 20 minutes. Okay, so 2:20 p.m. Eastern. There is apparently a moment where the witness says, I don't deal in possibilities, I deal in probabilities. And I want to rewatch that moment because I think it's hilarious.
Take the conservative number, the lower number, 2188 that you came up with.
Got to jump forward a little bit, but we got the right point. Hold on. It's harder than you think to nail down exact timestamps on a 10-hour stream.
No first-hand witness that saw, under your view, that a collision occurred. There's no witness to say where the arm was, correct?
There's no person that saw it.
Right. And you have chosen a point of contact, okay? You chose that for your analysis, correct?
Correct.
And you picked that location, but it's also possible that under your theory that a collision occurred, that arm could have been impacted any part of the back of the vehicle. That's possible, isn't it?
That's not probable, no.
I'm asking, is it possible?
Anything is possible. I don't deal in possibilities, I deal in probabilities. It's not probable.
So, but you don't know exactly
Boom.
where the point of impact was.
So within the range of the light and the exact angle of the hand, no, I don't. What I do know is at the rear tail light area.
So your assumption is that because there's a tail light that is altered, it must have been by Mr. O'Keefe's arm. That's your conclusion, correct?
My conclusion is there are tail light fragments, a broken glass, lacerations to his arm, and his DNA on the back of the vehicle in the area of the taillight.
Sir, and Your Honor, I'm going to move to strike the DNA part of that answer for obvious reasons.
I'm not going to strike it.
Okay. So
I told you! I wasn't kidding! It was like that over and over! He opened the door, the witness gave a dominating answer, and Alessi was like, move to strike the DNA part. Judge Ganoni was like, no, I won't be striking that. Oh, my word, ladies and gentlemen, it was such a good day for the Commonwealth. I don't understand that Bob Alessi could screw up a cross that bad. Oh, my word. Folks, if you missed it, that was just one of the highlights. That segment right there from 2:20 p.m. until 2:21 p.m. was just a nail in the heart of Bob Alessi's soul. Oh my goodness, Dr. Welcher took Bob Alessi's soul. It just went right up, and but Dr. Welcher just ate it alive. And then Bob Alessi made himself look desperate. When you move to strike and lose, the jury's like, oh, DNA. Defense lawyer doesn't want me to know about that, and now I get to know about it. Oh my goodness, it was a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a moment, and I told you I took timestamps. Why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, when you watch Towel Recap, I pull out the best moments. You don't have to watch 5 hours of Bob Alessi going down in flames, the good ship Hinden Reed collapsing to the ground, the shelled craters of the once strong Free Karen Reed seaport bunker, riddled with Hank Brennan's artillery cannons. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dan Bar, the river around the good ship Free Karen Reed, which is also a castle, is no longer holding back Hank Brennan's artillery. Oh, the guns are firing on all cylinders, although they are metaphorical, ladies and gentlemen. And Karen Reed's blimp is going down in flames. I'm not really sure why we've turned this into a blimp, but ladies and gentlemen, you saw it right there. That was just a stunning blow by blow. Just, oh my goodness, down goes Allesie. Down goes Allesie. Welcher may as well be throwing haymakers. Just boom. Oh my goodness, come around with a right, the verbal haymakers, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my word, you don't understand how brilliant it is to have a witness up there on cross and just humiliate it. Oh, okay, I'm going to let this play for another 15 seconds. All right, Joe Blow, you got it. I'll make sure I do. You got it. Hold on. Here we go. We had a request from Joe Blow, ladies and gentlemen.
Assumptions. You're taking what you view to be certain data, and you're coming to a conclusion, but that is based upon circumstantial information, correct? Is that fair?
Are you calling like pieces of the taillight at the scene around his body circumstantial information?
Sir, let me go to the force and go back to the force analysis. Let's go back to the numbers. I want to stay on, if we can, just the calculation. So
body blow! Oh, devastating body blow!
Understand from the literature.
Oh, just a devastating body blow!
From the finger up. Let's start with a hand. What's the minimum amount of force that can be applied to break a bone? Yes, I understand.
So it depends on the loading. So I don't actually know in terms of the forearm.
I muted that tab. Why is it still playing?
There's data that shows up to 300 Gs of loading. You will not get fractures. There's one up to 750 Gs showing no fractures.
That was absolutely hilarious.
Mr. O'Keefe.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So let's take those numbers. Okay. You
How
said
is that audio still playing?
And 750. Did I hear it correctly?
You did.
Okay. That's the numbers you gave that would break a bone, correct?
So the 300 actually didn't break any bones, I believe. The 750, the one example, didn't break a bone, but as you got above 350, you started to break bones.
So you got above 350.
All right, hold on.
Above 300, yeah, because that's what I thought you said the first time. You got above 300.
How is this possible?
Breaking bones, correct?
All right, I fixed it, little towels. I fixed it. I was like, how is it possible? You're going to have to see the back end window for a second. How is it possible that the audio is still playing after I close the tab? It just absolutely infuriated me, little towels, but I figured it out. I fixed it. I managed to get the audio to stop playing. Now, listen, I am glad that we watched that. Who was it that suggested it? Joe Blow. It is the Hindenburg. I'm so glad that we watched that, because after that, Alessi is like, circumstantial. Are you saying that is circumstantial? Like, it was great. That was a great answer. Now we have a few more minutes, a few more clips to watch. One of them, the doctor's like, Dr. Welcher is like, I'm not going to hit myself with a Lexus at 20 miles an hour. I just want to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, that was what the whole, I hit my funny bone. That is what the whole cross was like, ladies and gentlemen, over and over over and over again. It was quite a moment. It was absolutely hilarious in every sense of the term. I was there to watch it. Some of you were there to watch it, and I'm going to show you the recap now. Oh my goodness. And we hit 12K. We probably went way above that over on the Twitter. The whole Twitter stream hit 16,000 views today. Oh my goodness, little towels. I may have hurt my towel wrist because I dropped my water bottle, but you know what? Those are the kind of things that happen when you mess up your chair and the chair keeps pushing me forward. It's infuriating, ladies and gentlemen. People are like, Grant, you clearly don't even know how to operate a chair. You are in a lot of trouble. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am willing to admit that. I have no idea how to operate a chair. It is a very convoluted chair, and I will be the first person to admit it has completely thrown me off. All right, now let me get your comments back up on the screen. Give me 1 second here because we have a few more moments to watch of, oh, I fixed my chair. Ladies and gentlemen, my chair is no longer throwing me forward. I would like to announce to you that it was a setting on the side of my chair that I incidentally messed up, and it was completely ruining my day. Look at that. Your comments are back. Yes, don't forget to hit the thumbs up icon. I think Karen and her team are over at the Applebee's in Dedham. They're taking a night off from the Capitol Grill to save money. It was quite a day. Now, give me 1 more second here. I have to pull up one more window for you here. All right. So, oh, it wants to bring up that one, huh? Well, that's going to be annoying. All right, let me see if I can get this working for you, little towels. Oh, I see what it wants to do. Hold on. Give me a second, little towels. So let me bring that up. You can see the back end. Yes, a lot of you watch this stream. Over 5,000 of you today, and a lot of you watch it for an exceptional amount of time. Decent amount of towel friends watching on the YouTube. We've been building this YouTube channel up and almost hit 400 viewers the other day. The towel stream is definitely gaining popularity, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a second here. Let me see if I can get this reset for you, ladies and gentlemen. That is not, why are you doing that? But yes, we're going to watch a few more absolutely hilarious moments of the day, and you can also see that a lot of you watch and then kind of stay for the trial into the recap, and that's the part I find the most interesting. But yes, all right, I think I got it. I think I fixed it. Can you please just put up what I'm asking you? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I finally got it fixed. All right, so the next timestamp are we going to, hold on. Well, folks, please spare a thought for Lucy Conley, wife and mother, who was jailed for 31 months after an angry tweet. All right, H-Towel, we will do that. I don't know who that is. I will look into the story. I mean, I, of course, trust you, but yes, sometimes in countries without the First Amendment, ladies and gentlemen, the government can be very strict. Towel loves America. Towel respects America, and Towel also respects governments of other countries, but Towel can be a friend and a critic simultaneously. So, and I don't know what the issue is in that case. All I know is if it's important to H-Towel, it's important to me. All right, now we are going to 2:50 p.m. and 45 seconds because we are not sitting through that entire cross. Let me just tell you, I'm saving you all, even though it seems like we're going through each of these clips. Sitting through that 5-hour cross was agonizing. It was so boring. He was just Allesie was just struggling. So let's go to 2:50:45. Hold on.
You could have done that.
Hold on.
The Lexus S. Did a blue paint test with the vehicle going at 2 miles per hour. Did you do that? Okay. You didn't do a blue paint test with the vehicle going at 20 miles per hour, correct?
That is correct. Okay. I was not going to hit myself with a Lexus at 20 miles an hour.
There you go. There you go. I was not going to hit myself with a Lexus at 20 miles an hour. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've also had a request. I'll go over the motions from earlier. We also had a request to see if there's any video of Karen leaving court. As you know, this is a collaborative effort. While we're going through the last remaining sort of hilarious moments of Bob Alessi's cross of Dr. Jordan Welcher, which was just a humiliation ritual for the Reed defense. Please let me know, ladies and gentlemen, if you see any clips of Karen leaving court. Anytime we get a request like this, sometimes it does help to crowdsource. So if you take a look at any of the reporters, sometimes WJAR posts the clips up on their YouTube. Sometimes Law and Crime will have them. It really just depends, ladies and gentlemen. We're looking for anyone who might happen to have a clip of Karen Reed leaving court. But then, hold on one second. The next thing that I have for us is at 2:59:30. Your question doesn't make any sense. So let's figure out why at 2:59:30 Dr. Welcher said your question doesn't make any sense. Hold on one second. Oh no.
Do you believe the Lexus went in reverse based upon your PowerPoint presentation? Not when it went forward and then came backwards. How many feet do you believe that vehicle went in reverse?
Your question doesn't make any sense, because when it went forward, then it went in reverse.
Oh, awkward silence. Allesie just gives up. He's like, okay. Oh, folks, I forgot the best moment. The doctor was like, it's possible Allesie was like, is it possible this happened? The doctor was like, well, it's possible the Lexus went into space. Oh, I forgot about this. Oh, my goodness. This cross wasn't just glorious. It was actually hilarious at parts. Allesie got outwitted by that doctor.
As an engineer, it's a possibility.
Oh, this is the space part. Oh, I forgot about the space part. Listen, you don't understand how funny this is. You don't understand. It's glorious.
Of course, is possible. Whether it's reasonable or not, I'd have to know the starting position.
Right.
If it's very close to the side, then it could be reasonable. If it's further towards the middle of the road because snow is building up on the side of the road, then it's probably not as reasonable. I would need more information to be able to determine whether it's reasonable or not. It's certainly possible. It's possible it could have shot off into space as an engineer, but not probable.
Oh, you think it's possible that it could have been shot off into space, sir?
As an engineer, it's a possibility.
It's a possibility that
Absolutely.
this Lexus could have been shot off into space?
Yeah, highly, highly unlikely. But
All
again, you're asking an engineer about possibilities and probabilities.
Let's get back to reality. So in terms of the Lexus itself, because you under
How hilarious is that? How hilarious is that? I'm telling you, it actually happened that way. It's possible the car went into space. Oh, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Kitties 1993. Yes, Welcher was brilliant. I agree with you, dear friend. Oh, my goodness. This is the first time I've done a recap where I've just been laughing during a cross. Oh, my goodness. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, now we have to watch the 3:28:25 moment where Welcher's like, absolutely not. Apparently, that's also hilarious. Wait, have you all ever seen, can we also say goodbye to Second Beach Gal? God bless you, Second Beach Gal. You have a good rest of your day, dear friend. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever seen this comic strips that are like, Poland cannot into space? Can we make a car that's like Karen Reed's Lexus cannot into space, like a Poland ball meme? We need it.
Been shot off into space, sir?
Hold on. We need it.
To know the starting
Vehicle to, under your scenario, to have gone up on the lawn. That's not possible.
So your first question was reasonable, and I said no. Now you're asking possible. It, of course, is possible. Whether it's reasonable or not, I'd have to know the starting position.
Right.
If it's very close to the side, then it could be reasonable. If it's further towards the middle of the road because snow is building up on the side of the road, then it's probably not as reasonable. I would need more information to be able to determine whether it's reasonable or not. It's certainly possible. It's possible it could have shot off into space as an engineer, but not probable.
Oh, you think it's possible that it could have been shot off into space, sir?
As an engineer, it's a possibility.
It's a possibility that
Absolutely.
this Lexus could have been shot off into space?
Yeah, highly, highly unlikely. But
All
again,
right.
you're asking an engineer about possibilities and probabilities.
Let's get back to reality.
Okay, hold on. I just need to show you all this because I've had a question about it. Have you all ever actually thought about Poland being able to into space? Listen, have you never heard of Poland not into space. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not Poland. I just want to be clear. It is the country of Poland. So the meme, and Murder by Maestro being a 23-year-old binary-speaking towel, is probably familiar with this. Now, it is apparently offensive. I didn't know it was offensive to people from Poland. I didn't know this. But listen, okay, it's apparently offensive. I think this is some kind of meme site. But basically, this is the comic, okay? And it has in the top left a meteor coming to destroy Earth. So Russia's like, oh, a meteor's coming to destroy Earth. And then America's like, that might be Georgia, actually. I can't tell. And then Germany's like, we must leave the planet. And then all the countries go off into space. And then Poland's like, oh, Poland cannot into space. And then Poland is crying. Oh, little Poland, I feel terrible for you, little Poland. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, so I just want to let you know, Karen Reed's Lexus cannot into space. Do you see what I mean? All the other cars are going to go off into space, and Karen's Lexus is going to be sitting there crying because Karen's Lexus cannot into space. Oh, those of you who have been on the internet for a long time are going to be like, oh, dear God, he knows about the Poland ball meme. Everybody run for the hills. I am hilarious, and I find myself hilarious, and you are never going to be able to do anything about that, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm saying. I've had more fun laughing at Bob Alessi than Bob Alessi made points on Gross. All right, let's go to 328.25. Yes, we love the Polish people. We will get them into space, ladies and gentlemen. Poland can, in fact, into space. We will leave Karen Reed's Lexus behind and send Poland into space. We got to go to this next clip. Hold on. This one's at 328.25.
See if you can answer my questions.
This one's apparently hilarious. Hold on. All right, let's listen.
That if Mr. O'Keefe's arm were to be flexed like it was with the test subject in your blue paint test, the lacerations on Mr. O'Keefe's forearm would be oriented in a vertical direction.
Absolutely not. If you pull up my slide 117, it'll show exactly that it is like perfectly horizontal. When you're standing like this, and this is the tail light, the laceration, when it comes across here and pushes my body, it's gonna make a horizontal laceration because the 6,000-pound vehicle is gonna push me out of the way. As this pushes me out of the way, it's gonna drag and create a horizontal laceration across my arm. This is exactly what you'd expect.
So let's talk about the forearm, sir. We may have miscommunicated.
That was the demo. He did a live demo. Get in the van, Karen. Get in the van. Oh, my word. He did a live demo. Oh, my word, ladies and gentlemen. And now the tailpipe. Oh, the tailpipe exchange. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you I wrote the timestamps. Look at me. I'm an erudite little towel. I even know that Poland cannot into space. But Poland can into space. All of our Polish towels, we are going to combine together. We are going to build some kind of rocket, and we are going to send Poland, not the country. Well, I guess we could try to send Poland into space. I don't know if we should do that. Just skyhook Poland up into space. I think that would cause some kind of hole in the earth. I don't think we should do that. But maybe we could send a Polish person up into space. But also, yes, Murder by Maestro is right. Memes are a manifestation of mimetic transmission, which has to do with the way in which culture ripples outwards and amalgamates into various unifying perspectives through shared cultural norms. And if you think about it, ladies and gentlemen, the way we think about the American legal system is highly codified, but if you actually pulled out and looked at it anthropologically, it's a bunch of people in robes who make rules, and then people who study to learn about these rules and apply them, and then it becomes part of some special club where the elders tell the, rising elders how the rules are applied. It's a very weird system, ladies and gentlemen. Get in the van, Karen. Also, we're going to 344, and we're listening to this tailpipe segment. If I had to listen to Bob Alessi for 5 hours, I can be ridiculous and talk about Poland and Lexus is going into space.
Stretching of the arm. You had to make that selection from among others, correct?
So that was matching the physical evidence on his arm to the physical evidence on the car and then running a test to see if dynamically those matched up. So it's, I didn't have it hit the exhaust pipe, for example, because there was no assertion it hit the exhaust pipe. There was no damage to the exhaust pipe. So it was based upon the evidence, and the testing was done to test, to use your vernacular, the hypothesis that that's where it came from.
Sir, have I ever asked you anything about a tailpipe in any of my questions today?
Yes.
I have not. I've never
Yes,
asked.
you have. You asked me about the totality of the rear of the Lexus, which includes the tailpipe.
All right. I am not going to be asking any questions
Oh!
of the taillight in any fashion. So what I'd like to do is to go back
Oh,
to the
and you can
question.
see Alessi misspoke there. He's like,
Which includes the
Alessi meant to say I'm not going to be asking any questions about the tailpipe, but he said tail light, and Welcher was like, what?
Tailpipe.
All right. I am not going to be asking any questions that involve the taillight in any fashion. So what I'd like to do is to go back to the question that I'm asking, which is...
That was funny. Oh, Kim Cordeau, God bless you, dear friend. Ladies and gentlemen, that was an amazing, amazing performance by Dr. Welcher on cross. Just humiliated Allesie on every turn, didn't give an inch, just absolutely dominated him. And then was funny to boot and just embarrassing Allesie. But also, ladies and gentlemen, Kim Cordeau shared at the end of a long day. We've been going for almost 10 hours now. Little Towel is pushing, giving his all for you. We're doing our summary. I love you all, Little Towel, so much. I get one of my favorite things in the world, ladies and gentlemen. It is a super towel pair with a headband dancing saying #1 fan. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, it is a glorious day to be a towel. It is a glorious day to be a towel universe. Oh, my word, you super towel pair, you. God bless you, Kim Cordeau. The super pair is my #1 fan. No, I'm your #1 fan, Super Pair, and I'm your #1 fan, Kim Cordeau. God bless you for your first super on the channel. Thank you so much for supporting Towel Stream, and God bless you, Little Towel Pair. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, folks, please say thank you to Kim Cordeau for supporting the channel. That was absolutely wonderful. Kim Cordeau, I absolutely will put it towards my dinner. I'm gonna get some, I think, slices of pizza, and just know that is the world to me. I save it up so I have like a pizza fund. I don't have enough to get 7-Eleven pizza for weeks, and just knowing that I can go there. I've been getting some cheeseburgers on days where I can't get out of the house, but knowing I can get 7-Eleven pizza and not have to worry about it for just a long amount of time. You, Mary Adams, Courtney Myers, so many other people have made it possible. Jew Drops, Eva, ladies and gentlemen, Jack D65. We will go through the list at some point one day. You all have made Little Towel not be as anxious about if he's going to eat or his medicine, and so as a result, I can dedicate myself to giving you as much information. And if you want to know where it comes from, the 10-12 hour streams, it's because I feel like you all care about Little Towel. You're learning. I feel supported and loved for the first time really in a long time, and I'm going to return that to you, that this energy comes from a place of pure sort of gratitude and compassion, and that's how we're going to do it. Oh, God, ladies and gentlemen, I love so many of you. God bless you, Tenacious P. God bless you, my King of Kings. And ladies and gentlemen, we also had a request earlier, and I would be remiss if we did not do it. There were 2 new motions that came up on the docket. One really was a memorandum that was decided when Judge Canon made her decision related to Dr. Welcher being able to testify early in the morning when Hank Brennan finished the direct. But we will take the 2 motions, so I uploaded them here. You can take a look, ladies and gentlemen. One of the filings has to do with a Rule 14 violation. This was when Karen Reed's attorneys tried to ambush one of the witnesses in the Reed and O'Keefe case, Shannon Burgess, last week. So you can see the filing from Hank Brennan went up on the docket today. There's no ruling yet. It says the state's motion to preclude the attempted use of any information not produced in violation of Rule 14 Both the Commonwealth and the defense are bound by Rule 14 obligations. This is reciprocal discovery and discovery obligations. During the course of this trial, notably during Shannon Burgess's testimony, the defense presented documents that were not previously provided, which eliminated the ability to review and vet the documents. So literally the prosecution was not given these documents that the defense tried to use on cross until literally they were being brought up during cross. This was during Burgess's testimony last week. Notably, the defense presented a CV provided in 2023 that noted a graduation date of 2024. The effort of providing documents as a witness is being confronted with documents is improper, trial by ambush, a violation of Rule 14, and creates needless delays resulting in objections, unnecessary sidebars, and a waste of time for the jury. The Commonwealth seeks a ruling precluding the use of any materials that were not noticed by the defense other than materials in the witness's CV referred to during presentation or discussed during testimony. Oh, God bless you, forensic RN. So, folks, just so you realize, this is the state asking to make sure that the Reed defense can't ambush people with these nonsensical things at the last minute out of context that the state can't vet ahead of time. It's trial by ambush, it's unfair, it's wrong, and that's what Hank Brennan's arguing. Well argued, Mr. Brennan. And ladies and gentlemen, can we all just take a moment? I want to load the comments up here. They'll pop up on your screen in a second. First, Kim Cordeau, I just want to say thank you so much for that. But then also, ladies and gentlemen, want to scroll past a little bit further. And then I also, my King of Kings, thank you so much. Hugs to you, Murder by Maestro. Can we also say a special towel thank you to Forensic RN? God bless you, dear friend. God bless you, Forensic RN. You are a super towel in every sense of the word, and I am grateful you're here with us each day. It means so much to me, and your comments and questions are all noticed and appreciated. I have to change it to appreciate it because I ran out of space. But look at Murder by Maestro, going to be proud of me for using my voice to text. God bless you, Forensic RN. You are a super towel in every sense of the term, and I am so grateful for you. Thank you so much for your support of the channel. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we did our analysis. There was also, there was one more thing. As much as I want to go, I refuse to. I'm not just going to go. Hank Brennan then also filed this memorandum of law. We had a request to take a look at what the other filing was. This memorandum of law had to do with Dr. Welcher's ability to testify about the collision. And so you can see Hank Brennan spends a good amount of time, ladies and gentlemen. It's 2 pages. We don't have to read the whole thing. Hank Brennan details why Welcher was able to make the opinions that he did earlier in the morning, the lacerations being consistent with contact with the Lexus rear tail light, the Lexus collided in a clipping manner with John O'Keefe, and whether the collision occurred at substantially the same time as the reverse maneuver, which Dr. Welcher identified from the Lexus trigger event, which is at 12:32 a.m. and 4 seconds to 9 seconds on 1/29/2022. So Brennan makes his memorandum of law, and then that was the decision that Judge Canon rendered early this morning. Brennan writes really strong motions. Like when Brennan is upset, like you can hear it, he writes motions where he just lets it out. So Brennan makes a very strong argument. He ends up just tearing apart the cases that Alessi tried to cite, Coleman and Lannon, which we actually shepherdized on this stream last night. And then Brennan ends up closing up his argument by asking for what he basically got today, which was that Welcher be able to testify that, in his opinion, to a reasonable degree of scientific and engineering certainty, there was a collision between the defendant's SUV and John O'Keefe, and that the injury and that occurred around the time of the defendant backing maneuver in front of Fairview Road on 1/29/2022. So that was what Hank Brennan ended up arguing this morning. But if you missed it, ladies and gentlemen, really the culmination of the day was the motion hearing at the end. But more so than the motion hearing, it was just Bob Alessi going on for so long while making so little points and simply getting humiliated. And this, ladies and gentlemen, this had to be the moment of the day. Please join us again tomorrow. I'm going to go back to talk to the towel friends. YouTube.com/@GrantSmithEllis. See the Karen Cam. See moments like this, ladies and gentlemen. Literally, where else will you get to see Bob Alessi try to impeach a witness, get a fact wrong, a key fact wrong about the case, and end up impeaching himself? Oh, it was glorious.
Exactly. So you've been on this for 2.5 years. So if it would take 9 months or 12 months, if you weren't getting paid, you would have been notified by that by now, correct? According to your own answer you just gave.
I've not been on this case for 2.5 years.
I'm sorry, sir. Let me go back to the question of payment.
hold on. You said I've been on this case for 2.5 years. I was retained in September 17th-ish of 2024. So that's what, less than a year ago.
Understood. I'm moving on to the next question because I want to move away from that discussion and just go right to the bill.
Yeah, I bet you do, Bob Alessi. Oh, folks, it was a bad day for the Reed defense. It was a great day for the state. I'm going to go talk to the towel friends. Join us tomorrow bright and early, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, youtube.com/@GrantSmithEllis. We started this, when did we start? At 4:45, and we ended the recap. Let's see, how about 6:13 and 45 seconds? So in about 15 seconds, 6:13:45. Thanks again. Join us on the towel YouTube. Join the chat. It's been